Despair, emotions, hope, a blood-curdling cliffhanger, and right back to despair. In the latest Amphibia episode, All In, all the characters as well as the story writers really went all in. In spite of the hero's great triumph over the core, its terror is not completely over yet. At first it appeared to have died after being disconnected from the castle and Marcy, but the helmet Darcy was wearing got up and snuck away. I really appreciate this, because a thousands of years old hive mind never having considered a plan B for the case of being unplugged would have been very lazy writing. So I guess the core can still take over a person's mind by mounting their head, and given that it was teleported to Amphibia too, it's definitely going to try getting back at the heroes. Yeah, well, turns out the core is going to connect to the goddamn moon. Why would it connect to the moon that is falling onto Amphibia? We need to rethink the whole thing. Let's consider that the moon is only falling because the core is connected to it. Rather than letting its enemies live happily ever after, the core prefers letting the moon crush Amphibia so that no one wins. If it isn't the one to rule the worlds, no one is. For that reason, it created the moon many years ago as its plan B. The fact that the moon has a port for the core and displays mechanic features can be taken as proof. Thus, back when Leif asked Aldrich to stop using the calamity box, the reason why the core did not fear the calamity was that the core itself is the one controlling the calamity. Had the core revealed that secret to Andrias and Leif, the whole story of Amphibia may have never occurred. Additionally, the core would probably also choose death over making Andrias its new host to start over, following his recent failure. Simultaneously, Andrias no longer wants to help out the core and will take his betrayal another step forward in the hardest thing, going from disobedience to actively standing up to the core by stopping it from destroying Amphibia. On top of that, mainly due to his desire to save Marcy, he will reveal all his knowledge regarding the prophecy and how it connects to Leif's vision that everyone else knows nothing of so far. Thereby, incidentally, Andrias, who played a central role in bringing about the calamity, is indispensable in averting it. Fortunately, with Marcy being back in the picture, there is finally someone who truly knows how to work the calamity box. In combination with Andrias' intel, she can figure out how to get all the calamity powers back before the moon hits the planet. According to the Mother of Ohms, this is the key to fulfilling the prophecy. Apart from keeping back the moon, Amphibia's finale will deal with the character's emotions. But what is the hardest thing? In light of the fact that Anne and Sasha have already forgiven Marcy, after a quick talk about the future of their friendship, it does not seem to be forgiveness. Instead, it is saying goodbye. Firstly, Marcy and Sasha alluded to their parents, suggesting that they may make an appearance, and Marcy is really moving away. Secondly, Anne has fulfilled all of her duties and can finally go back to her original life on Earth. Basically, this was expected to happen for the entirety of the show. Nonetheless, simply by the topic being addressed in All In, I swear I teared up a little. Amphibia has this amazing way of delivering messages and conveying emotion to the viewers, despite them being prepared for what's coming. During the past few weeks, it got clearer by the episode what the final two episodes will look like, and except for a few details, All In pretty much played out as anticipated. Still, the episode was exciting. You couldn't help but cheer for the heroes and enjoy the scenes you have been imagining for so long unfolding on the screen. Next to the great writing, I would like to express my admiration for the voice cast at this point, because their talents added so much to making this episode feel so intense. The only thing about the episode that felt a tad stereotypical was the fight between Anne and Andrias. With the power of friendship boost for Anne and the villain accepting his fate by remembering his former friendship, the fight was just not outstanding. But at least these things were not forced, especially with Andrias' betrayal having been gradually set up ever since season 2. One detail that I liked a lot, however, is how Anne noticed Andrias was yielding to her and wanted her to defeat him. I could probably name 100 other series where the main hero would have starved and spared the villain, but Anne had the guts to pull it off, having the security of Earth in mind. Moreover, However, without spelling it out, she actually acknowledged Andrias' wish to be relieved of his position as the king and the villain. She doesn't forgive him, but she respects his final efforts. Otherwise, the invasion was portrayed pretty well for a Disney cartoon. The military pulled up, the city was destroyed, and citizens were in actual danger. I'm definitely satisfied with this episode being the climax in terms of action. But All In was not only the conclusion to the war, it was used to bring every other story arc except for the prophecy full circle, so that the hardest thing can focus on the most important aspects. The fate of Sprig's parents, Mr. X, Leif and Andrias' development, Grime's development, Marcy's possession, and Marcy's entire character arc were all brought to completion. Sasha's and Anne's development were rounded up once more too. I hope they do shortly come back to Marcy's development though, seeing that it was mostly dealt with in this single episode, while Sasha's development was addressed over and over again, even in several solo episodes. Have you already seen the teaser for The Hardest Thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.